Good afternoon, everyone. We all gathered here. Am I audible? Am I audible?
Yes,
Yes.
yes,
Ma'am.
yes,
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, fine.
yes, ma'am.
We all gathered here to know about NEP. This is the new education policy or the national education policy which has been launched recently, you know very well, and that will be that school will start following this after 2 and 3 years. So this meeting, it is for NEP to give the overview of NEP. So before starting this policy, I would like to give you that what is the vision of this policy, why we are following it. To develop the education system deeply in the for the students, to give the capability to provide the high quality of the education. The education which you are getting now, to provide the high quality of the education so that the student, they will be able to compete in the global world. The first point. Second one is here that the reason why this what is the reason of this NEP. So the curriculum and the pedagogy, sorry, the curriculum and the pedagogy, it should be like this, that will give the fundamental duties, this kind of the knowledge to the students, the constitution of the India. So because this is having a very deep bond with the country, the education which you are providing, so this education should inculcate all these qualities in the student. So the education should be like this. Third point is here that there should be the respect for the country. For this, what is the important? That is important for the responsibility of the human right, the sustainable development, and the global well-being, so that there will be the truly good citizenship, the global citizenship will be there. So this is the vision of this policy. It is there. Now we will see this transforming curricular and the pedagogical structure. Now we have 10 plus 2. We are following the education, that is the right now the academic structure which is there, that is 10 plus 2. It means from class 1 to 10, and then for class 11 to 12. So total 12 years of education system is there now, previously or now what we are following. Now it will be the new pedagogical structure you will see. So there will be the 15 years. It has been converted into the 15 years. So in this 15 years, that has been divided into 5 plus 3 plus 3 plus 4. So first stage, this is the foundational stage, which will be of 5 years. So this foundational stage has been again broken into 3 plus 2 years. 3 plus 2 years. So 3 years where there will be the as the child has taken admission in the school. So till nursery or till senior KG, I should say, this will be the 3 years. And then for class 1 and 2, so total 5 years will be there for the foundational stage, where the study or the education will be completely based on play and activity based. Then next we have the preparatory stage, which will be of 3 years from classes 3 to 5, or it will be based on play, some kind of the discoveries, activity based learning, interactive classroom learning. And next we have the classes will be from classes 6 to 8. Then last one, which will be the secondary stage, which will be of 4 years, where we have the more and more great critical thinking, the disciplinary, this multidisciplinary study will be flexibility of the student for getting the, they can choose their subject according to their knowledge. Okay, so these are the stages which has been divided, and total years will be of 15. That is the first difference. Now question is here, why we are shifting this changes learning. This changes. The question is there, why we are changing this? Why this education system is being changed? So this education system is being changed so that this rote learning will be converted into the sport integrated, art integrated classroom for the holistic development of the child. The critical thinking, that will be, there will be the child, the promotion of the critical thinking in the classroom. The traditional assessment, that will be converted into the competency focused, tracking the student very minutely, that are they studying, in a proper way? Yes or no? So this rote learning that has been converted for the converted into the AIL. You know very well your children, they are doing AIL in the classes. So why these kinds of the things are being inculcated in the school in the classes, so that the holistic development can be there for the students. Now we will see the silent feature of these stages which we discussed right now. As I told you, the foundational stage, I'm repeating again, the foundational stage, it will be of 5 years from pre-nursery to till class 2. Or this education will be completely based on play and activity based learning. The pedagogy of the early childhood care and education, because this will be the primitive stage, so definitely the childhood care will be given to the education, and there will be the more and more focus will be given for the good behavior, courtesy, ethics, personal and the public hygiene and the cleanliness will be, and then focus on the teamwork and cooperation. So these kinds of the qualities will be started inculcating in the children in the primary stage of life, of the school life, I should say. Then next we have the preparatory stage, will be of classes 3 to 5, where this play-based learning a little more we will focus on the study. There will be the classroom learning will be more on the basis of their subjects, the major subjects I should say. That will be the physical education, art, languages, science and mathematics. Interactive teaching and learning process will be there, where the teachers, those who are teaching, there will be the interactive classroom session will be there for them. There will be more emphasis, it will be given for the reading, writing and speaking, so that literature and the language will be stronger for the student. And next we have the middle stage, which will be from classes 6 to 8. There will be the more subject oriented methodology, different methodology will be used here, and the subject teachers and the teachers, those who are taking the class, they will have the more and more discussion about the topics which will be for the major subjects. And next, the last one, which is the high school or the secondary stage, which will be of 4 years from classes 9 to 12, where we are keeping more and more multidisciplinary studies. Great depth will be given for the critical thinking. The great attention will be given for the life aspiration. Greater flexibility will be given for the student choice. They can do the study according to their choice. More subjects will be given so that they can enable the greater flexibility, and more frequent assessment modules will be ready for them so that they can assess themselves. We can evaluate them very minutely. Now next we have ECCE, that is early childhood care and education. As the child is started learning, so as we have discussed right now, that from the primary section, this ECCE is very much important, because just child has taken admission in the school, so they should be given the care. So this childhood care will be given, and for this, the teachers, those who are taking classes for this 5 years or foundational stage, they will be they will get the diploma, they will have the diploma program, they will be given the training on that, they will get the certificate, they will get so that they can taking care of the children in a proper way. Or this kind on what is the motto of this ECCE for the motor development, physical and motor development of the child, for giving the cultural and artistic development, socio-emotional development, development of the languages, literacy and numeracy. It means there will be the overall development of the child should be there. Okay, the most important part. Now we are coming to drop out the students, to curtailing the dropout rates, how it should be done. So the new education policy, here also we will keep this in the brain, that for the new education policy, to this dropout rate should be curtailed. For curtailing this dropout rates, the points which has been given here, these rules we are going to follow in NEP. So first one is there, the regular, the teachers, those who will be taking classes from class 1 to 12, they will be more trained, they will have the more and more education related to all the time, they will be given the training that how will they take the classes, because it will be completely different from the education system which we are following now. Second thing is here that universal participation in the school, very carefully for the students. Suppose they enrolled, they are attending the classes, but because of some reason they missed out, they have fallen behind, or so they will be given the opportunity, so a suitable opportunity to will be given to them, so that they can re-enter the school, or they can continue with their studies. The most important thing is also here, a very interesting also, you all can notice here that the students, the formal education and the non-formal education will work simultaneously here. There will be the open distance learning program, that is ODL program, that will be offered by National Institute of Open Schooling, or the state open schools will be expanded here, or that also will work in the new education policy. So after having this kind of the education system, your child will be skillful, or all these kinds of the skill will be fulfilled in the child very easily. Now next to yes, now Runa ma'am will explain the contemporary subjects. Over to Runa ma'am. Thank you everyone.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Good afternoon everyone.
Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am, audible.
Thank you so much.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you so much. So to continue with the NEPs, now, as you can see here in the slide, NEP also gives us scope to introduce some contemporary subjects like artificial intelligence, holistic health, data science, organic living, design thinking, and machine learning. So along with the subjects, regular subjects, there is scope for these contemporary subjects also in the new education policy. Survey and hand-on experiences of sampling of important vocational crafts, which include carpentry, electrical work, metal work, gardening, pottery, etc., based on the local and state community are also mapped along with the local skill needs of the society. Increased emphasis during the school years, and especially in the foundational stage, is been provided for mathematics and computational skill. As Rashmi ma'am has explained, numeracy is a fundamental thing which has to be taken care during the foundational stage. Now, a variety of innovative methods, including use of puzzles, games, for making math or mathematical thinking more enjoyable and engage the tiny tots, is being introduced or is being suggested by NEP. Introduction of these activities, including coding, is also introduced in the middle stage. There is emphasis given on vocational training of the child. A 10-day bagless period during the grades of 6 to 8 is being proposed, where the child will be given vocational training on skills such as carpentry, gardening, pottery, artistry, etc. And for providing these kind of skill-based learning to the students, vocational courses through online mode is also proposed. Internship will be provided, and engaging the local skilled people in the society, and these vocational training courses are also offered through open or distance learning. At least by 2025, 50% of the learners should be exposed to such vocational courses. Another important thing where emphasis has been given in NEP is the knowledge of India. Now here we can see that government is emphasizing on ancient Indian history and its contribution in success of for meeting the challenges of the modern society. India's future aspirations regarding health, education, and environment, etc., is being given importance in this. Competitions in schools for learning various topics and subjects through fun and indigenous processes have been given. Elective course for Indian knowledge system in secondary education is provided by NEP. Constitutional values will need to be developed in students, for which experts from Indian constitutes will be considered for essential reading for all the students. Knowledge of critical issues facing the local communities, state, country, and the world is also being given importance. So we can see that an importance is given to the Indian history and use of that knowledge in educating our youth to overcome the challenges they will face in the modern society is being emphasized. For this, video documentaries and inspirational luminaries of modern science are included in the science curriculum also. Health education is very important nowadays. Basic health training, including the preventive health, is being introduced in the middle section. Mental health well-being and also nutrition is given equal importance. Students will be made aware on personal and public hygiene along with first aid methods. Detrimental and damaging effects of alcohol, tobacco, and other drugs will also be discussed at length. Now we know that our country is a country of diversity. It's a land of diversity. NEP emphasizes on education at primary level in mother language, mother tongue. Because this particular, if we teach a child in the mother tongue, the child understands better, they acquire knowledge in a more better way. We have seen this through our experiences and researches. So primary education, to provide primary education in the mother tongue, this has been recommended by NEP. But at the same time, we know that India is a multilingual country. So activity or a fun project under the name the Languages of India is being familiarized to the school at the middle stage to provide the knowledge of diverse languages of our country and help the child to learn more than one language. Next, we have National Curriculum Framework for School Education and Textbook. So NCERT will formulate on the basis of the principles provided in NEP, will make the textbooks available in all the regional languages in India, and all these textbooks will aim at the essential core material deemed important at the national level. But at the same time, they will contain certain desired and supplementary material as per the context and the need of the local people. So there is a possibility for the schools and the teachers to have a choice among the variety of textbooks and employ among the given set of textbooks to meet the required need of the nation as well as local needs. To continue with this, I would now request Neha ma'am to take you along the session. Neha ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. I'll share the screen now. Just a Okay, so just a second. My current slide is not showing here.
Parents, if you have any query, you can put down in the chat box.
Okay, I hope I am audible. Okay, so transforming assessment for student development. Now, what is the aim of assessment according to NEP? Is that generally the students, they are always more into rote learning, rote memorization. So this concept has to be changed. It should be learning, should be development of the students. For that, different kind of questions can be set, different kind of activities can be done where the concepts are cleared for the students. Critical thinking of the students can be improved. And assessment for learning, optimize learning and development for all students. This should be the main focus or aim of the NEP. Okay. Now, transforming assessment and tracking students' progress across school years. Now, all students, if you can see the graph, it is shifting from grade 3, then there is a transition. Then they are coming to grade 5. Again, from grade 5 to grade 8, there is a transition. Again, from grade 8 to grade 10, there is a transition. And again, from grade 10 to grade 12, there is a transition. So NEP has focused more on this different group of classes. So for that, to understand, so that the students can grasp the concepts, so core concepts have to be developed. They have to stop this rote memorization, and more critical thinking has to be developed. Assessments has to be conducted for all the schools, whether it is a government school or a private school. So assessments has to be conducted, and the data that we are getting, that also has to be shared with the students as well as with the parents. Overall outcomes, it's not only the exams, the written exams that they are giving. Apart from the written exams, all the other types of assessments that we are assessing the student, all of that has to be shared with the students as well as with the parents. And these data that we are getting, this can be utilized for continuously monitoring whichever other lacunas, whichever other loopholes that we are seeing in a particular student, that can be developed, that can be bridged. So all those data that we are getting, these data can be, it's very useful for us and for the parents for the overall improvement of the students. Now, as we are talking about holistic development is the overall development of the child. It's not that how much a child is good in the examinations or in a particular subject. We are talking about the overall development of a child. So for that, the report cards also needs to be changed. Here we are doing the assessment based on the different activities that the child is performing in the class over the years. Like there can be different project-based learning, there can be inquiry-based learning, there can be cognitive learning, different quizzes are there to assess, role plays are take place for different subjects. Then there are questionnaires. Now, interactive questionnaires, this is not only for the students. Here, parents and teachers can also participate, where we can interact with each other. So these kind of activities are also there. Self-assessment and peer assessment. Definitely, this is also one of the very important way in which a child can assess himself or herself. He or she should know, where do I stand? So for that, he or she can assess by writing, by seeing the question. What are the drawbacks? What are the things that he or she is lacking in? Peer assessment can be like where another student of the class is assessing the other student. So, and teacher assessment, which we all know, we keep on doing that. So that is also there. Now, regarding guidelines for assessment. Now, when assessment, we are taking the assessment, definitely guidelines are being fixed by the a board. So for that, NCERT does that. NCERT is the board which gives us all the guidelines where we have to follow those guidelines. Not only NCERT in collaboration with other stakeholders, like we have got boards of assessments, we have got National Assessment Center for School Education. So all of these, they frame these guidelines for the assessment that has to be taken care of by the schools for the children. Now, National Assessment Center for School Education. This center, it advises the school. Now, what does it advises? The schools regarding the new assessment patterns that they have introduced, research work, collaborations can be done between the school boards. We know that there are different school boards that are there. So collaborations can be done between those boards. Instrument for sharing the best practices. Which board is having best practices for one kind of arena, so that can be shared with the other boards, and shifting their assessment patterns towards meeting the skill requirements of the 21st century and in consonance with the stated objectives of this policy. So already Runa ma'am and Rashmi ma'am has described in detail about the objectives. So keeping in mind those objectives, the skill requirements of the students is also taken care of by NEP. Next is NEP aims to support and nurture teachers through all phases of their tenure. Now here, as you can see, there are different steps that is already shared in the screen. That is preparation, recruitment in the classroom, and professional development. So these are the different stages that the teacher also goes through, so that he or she can teach in a better way in the class, so that he or she is prepared, so that they can take care of the students in a better way. So for that, all these are the different stages through which a teacher also has to go through. So all this is also given in the NEP. Next is teachers undertake 50 hours of CPD. CPD is professional development and improving standards. Earlier it was 35 hours. Now it has been increased to 50 hours. So there are different ways in which we are also have to upgrade ourselves so that we can take care of the children in a better way. As we know that all the everyone is unique. So some are gifted, some are differently abled. So all of them has to be taken care of in different ways. So for that, we have online training courses, we have got workshops and programs to attend to. And all of these has been already given by the CBSE, the NCERT. Now, focus on socio-economically disadvantaged groups. Hence, we are focusing on more of inclusive education. So no child should be left alone. So for that, different parameters are there, like gender identities. Female, transgender individuals, everybody is included. Socio-cultural identities, here we are focusing more on the scheduled caste, the scheduled tribes, the OBCs, the minorities, everyone is included. Nobody should be left aside. Geographical identities from different areas, the students are brought and given education. If they are physical or mentally retarded, even if the children, they are from a lower economic group, they are also included. They should also be given education. Now, how to include this people in the education? The government, the NCERT, the board has done a lot of taken a lot of initiatives, like gender inclusion funds are there for girls, equal participation is there, Then there are alternative forms of school, and teachers also has to take care of identifying the different kinds of students. If anybody is having speech disorders, special educators can be recruited by the school. I think this is my last slide. Efficient resourcing and effective governance through schools. How schools can take care of this differently abled people or other people belonging to different strata of the society. For that, counselors, number of teachers has to be recruited. Resources like libraries, labs has to be there.
Parents, we will get disconnected in a while. Please rejoin us.
And cooperation and support across schools are also there for the education of children, and improved governance of the schooling. Now here, decisions which the principals and teachers take, that also matters a lot. So whatever finer decisions are there has to be taken care of by the principals and teachers. With this, we are ending the NEP guidelines and objectives. Over to ma'am, if you have